Welcome to another family meeting. We are so excited to be back with all of you who are watching. I'm Thomas, and this is the amazing Lysandra, who is my wife, by the way.
That makes me feel like I'm a magician.
The amazing Lysandra. And then I throw the smoke down and boom.
Yeah, I would
have
be
you
the
appear.
Worst magician ever.
Yeah. So my friend Ryan does some magic tricks. And every time he does some magic trick, Lysandra's mind is blown.
It blows my mind.
It's like some toddler. Literally, when it comes to magic, she has the mind of a toddler.
That's so mean.
But you do. Like,
the tricks are cool.
He does the tricks, and you're like, what? How did this happen? It's magic.
Seriously, though. I know it's a trick, but it's very good. All right, I haven't said my line.
Yeah, but he does the scarf thing.
The scarf thing is amazing.
He gets her every time. It's like the easiest trick.
Card tricks, too, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome to episode 306 of the Family Meeting Podcast.
Yes.
On today's episode, we're going to discuss sadfishing, and we will go to Webster's Dictionary later to tell you what that is.
Oh, are you serious?
No.
You can't. I was going to say, there's no way that's in there.
It's not in there. I'm just teasing.
So.
Yeah, but I knew that I needed to at least tell people what we're going to be talking about today before we discuss magic any further.
You seem a little happy to be talking about sadfishing.
I'm usually happy.
Yeah.
So.
Should I make you sad?
No. Do not. Do not. I know that you have the ability, you have the power in your hand to make me very sad very quickly.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
I won't.
Thank you.
I've got a new energy drink flavor I'm sporting today. For the keen observer who are watching, it's been a different drink every episode so far. And this one is Mango Fuego.
The way that you say that is so funny.
Mango Fuego. What's funny about that?
I don't know. You just.
How would you say it?
I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't even attempt it. Mango Fuego.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, it's just a kind of a funny word, I guess.
It's mango fire.
All right, listen.
It's habanero and mango.
Is it hot? Spicy? It's like a spicy cold drink.
I thought it would be spicy, but there's not really spicy.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like habanero.
It's time for you to have some confession time.
Okay.
Tell all of us, how many energy drinks do you drink a week? This is like a doctor's office.
Okay. I would say probably 3.
Oh, 3 a week?
Typically, it's 2 on Sunday morning, and then 1 when we record. I drink 1 when we record. Because here's the thing. Sunday, I do announcements with Lysandra at our church, and I have to try to match that energy. And then the podcast, I'm trying to match Lysandra's energy.
I'm low energy for the podcast. What? Don't you guys? I mean, you guys think I'm low energy, right? If you know me personally, you know that this is a lower energy. And because there's not like a big group of people right in front of me, I'm also lower energy.
Yes, but your low energy is high energy to me.
Okay.
So
you drink energy drinks to match my energy? You've never told me that ever.
Yeah. So if on weeks we record, like we've had some weeks where we record like 4 times.
Yeah.
And so then obviously it's a lot more, but the average is about 3.
Okay.
So all of you who are very concerned about my heart right now, it's fine.
I'm becoming concerned about it.
Okay.
And here's why. So Violet is getting all of her paperwork ready for volleyball.
Yeah.
And so there's meetings with coaches, and there's the doctor's visit and the EKG and other paperwork. So it's like kind of all in front of my face. And they keep talking so negatively about energy drinks and talking about like the heart problems that come from it and everything.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm hearing it from the doctor. I'm hearing it from the coaches. I'm hearing it from the paperwork. She has to do like watch videos and answer questions and like prove that she has like educated herself on these different things. So anyway, it's really in front of my face. And every time I'm asked like if Violet's drinking energy drinks, which she pretty much isn't.
No.
I'm like, gosh, is Thomas okay? Is Thomas gonna like, is his heart just gonna explode? So I'm a little nervous.
If it does, I hope it's on the podcast.
That's weird.
Like, what a way to go, right? And can you imagine how many viewers we'd get for that?
Yeah, but then that would be the end of the family meeting because you're dead.
Oh, yeah. How would that episode ever get aired?
Yeah, I don't know how to get it from like this to like on.
She's like, I have the SD card. Now what do I do with it?
I wouldn't even know to like get the SD card. I would call Ryan.
Yeah. So, but here's, do you think I drink more than that?
No, I know that you have way cut back because, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the year that we moved here, like in Iowa and after we moved, I want to say that you were having 1 or 2 monsters a day. Sugar-free monsters.
Possibly, yeah.
That's what I think, but it's hard to say. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd ask me to buy that. I would get them for you, but so obviously it's way less than that. And I was very happy about that. But the other day, one of the girls said, and it might have been Violet, it was either Violet or Abigail, because we were talking about energy drinks because of the volleyball.
Yeah.
And one of them said, Daddy drinks energy drinks all the time. And I was like, no, he doesn't. He used to, but I was like, he doesn't anymore. And she was like, no, I think he does a lot. And I was like, how many does he drink? But you drink other things that are in cans that are not energy drinks. Like your coffee flavored protein something.
So this is what I have in the morning. This is my regular day. That's not like Sunday or recording. So I get up, I make my drink for going to the gym, which does have some caffeine in it. It's got a pre-workout. It has collagen. It's got unflavored protein and some like BCAAs and things like that. For working out. So I have that first thing in the morning. I come home. I have my protein coffee drink.
Which is in a can. I think that they think maybe that's an energy drink.
Yep. So it's got my protein. That's protein. I have my yogurt drink that I drink with raw eggs.
You guys, he puts a yogurt milky drink into a clear glass and then puts 3 raw eggs in it.
No.
Okay.
It's 2 eggs first.
Okay. Well.
And I stir them up and then pour the yogurt drink in, which mixes it all together. And I drink that.
And we can see through this cup, and you can see big old yolky. It's so gross. And none of us want to be around him when he drinks his yogurt.
So I have that. And then I also have another protein drink, which is Jocko protein stuff.
Is that in a bottle or a can?
It's in a bottle.
Okay.
That's the fruity cereal one. And then I got a banana cream one that is not good at all. It just tastes like chemicals. That one's not good.
But you have to drink it because you bought it.
Yeah, I got to drink it. Yeah, I have maybe 7 or 8 left. Probably.
There are starving children in Africa who would kill for that.
I drink it just because I'm trying to get my protein levels in. But other than those drinks, I'm drinking water typically out of my shaker thing that I use in the gym in the morning. So
that's what I was thinking. And so I did like argue a little bit with the girls. I was like, I don't think so. Yeah, he is. And so I just thought that I would take this opportunity with all these witnesses to find out how many energy drinks you actually drink a day and if we need to be concerned.
Not a whole lot, but if all you see is the podcast, like you think I would drink it all the time because I always have one on here.
Well, or if people like watch the church service and they watch the podcast, then it looks like you're never without one.
Yeah.
And that looks real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, we've clarified.
So it's all right. My heart is great.
Do you know that?
It's fine. Yeah, it's beating.
Like, when was the last time you went to the doctor?
It's beating. I run a lot. I work out a lot. Like I'm good. So save the emails for something else.
Yes.
Like family meeting related. So
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sadfishing. This is a new term to both of us, right? You haven't really heard of it until you sent me the idea for the podcast.
No, I was scrolling Facebook and something about Sadfishing came across my feed, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of interesting. This would make an interesting podcast episode because
we don't know what it is.
I've never heard of it before. Yeah. So I want to make sure, in case somebody's new to the podcast, almost everything we talk about comes from Lysandra's mind. So conversations that she has and all of that kind of stuff.
That's why the podcast is so chaotic.
Scatterbrained. Every once in a while, I send her something that I think would make a good episode. This is something from me this time.
That came across his socials. So it's basically when social media turns into pain into attention.
Okay.
So social media has created this new phenomenon, and it is called sadfishing, and it's the act of posting exaggerated or deeply emotional content online to gain sympathy, validation, or attention. And some posts do reflect like a genuine issue or
Sure.
a genuine cry for help, like where somebody really truly needs help. But others can become like this unhealthy pattern, and it shapes the person's identity around their pain and makes them focus on their pain.
Yeah.
And I would say this, like, even if it is a genuine cry for help, I think that if any of us need help, social media is not the place to go for that help.
Yeah.
We need to find like 4D real people that we can reach out to and ask for help.
Yes.
Yes. So, but before we dig into the conversation, we have somewhere that we're going to be tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
National Small Groups Conference is tomorrow in Atlanta. We are so excited about that. Going to be a great time. We'll tell you all about it next week on the podcast. But it's pretty much if you haven't registered, it's a little too late for you.
Yes.
I know we are looking forward to all the people, hundreds of people that will be there. And so it's going to be a great time there. But we're looking at a month away from our trip to New Mexico.
I am so excited about this for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
For one thing, I cannot wait to meet Joy and Caleb in person.
Yes.
Joy and I have been friends online, like through socials, for a while, like years and years. And I enjoy her posts and I enjoy following her. And we have had personal messaging back and forth. And like, I feel like we are good friends, even though we haven't met in person. So I'm excited to meet them in person for one thing, but then also because of the trip we've tacked on to this.
Yes.
So our daughter will have just gotten married, which is chaos, mixed emotions, sadness, joy. Also, it happens kind of near our anniversary, our wedding anniversary. We're kind of skipping the August 2nd anniversary and moving. We're just going to wait until this trip.
Our anniversary was a couple days ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're not
that you
celebrating.
remembered.
No, I don't remember anniversaries very well. I try. I'm really working on it. But we're going to celebrate there and have a little trip before we start the conference.
Yeah, but we still went out to
Sedona.
dinner and stuff for our anniversary.
Right.
Of course, it's a Sunday. It was Sunday, so we had to work. But
Yes, but this is like us really celebrating our 23rd anniversary.
Yeah.
So I am completely looking forward to the rest
yeah.
and the refreshment for our relationship, because I know that after this wedding, we're going to need it. So I'm really, there's just two big things that I'm really excited about.
We're leaving like 8 days after the wedding, going to fly out a Sunday night after church and get to Arizona, do some hiking and all that. And then we're making our way to Las Cruces, Mountain View Baptist Church there
Yes,
with
can't wait.
Caleb and Joy Worley. Looking forward to a great time there. And it's going to be September 11th and 12th for the marriage conference there. You can register today. We'd love to see all of our friends out in the Southwest show up for that. It'd be a great time for all of us together. So make your plans to be with us. Of course, you can go to familymeeting.org, get all the information that you need for that. Pay attention and watch our socials as well. But new state for us to speak in. This will be the first time we're speaking together in New Mexico. So that'll be a good time.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But we better get back to the topic at hand today.
Yes.
We need to focus.
So we're talking about sad fishing, and of course, social media is a big part of it. I was going to talk about this just a second ago. So for the most part, we don't want like personal drama in our lives.
Yes.
So I want to ask you this. Do you have friends on Facebook that you keep because of drama they post? Like their life is just like interesting from afar?
Currently, no. I feel like that feels familiar from years ago or something. But no, I really don't enjoy it. I don't even really necessarily want to see it if I can help it.
Yeah.
I am very empathetic, and so I don't do well with like seeing someone else's pain and like being compassionate but leaving it there.
Yeah.
I tend to absorb it and take it with me on my day.
Yes.
And so I really don't enjoy it. Do
Okay.
you? Do you have friends like that?
I do. So
Am I that friend?
we're married, so I'm kind of have to
You have to be friends with me.
and follow you. So I'm connected with thousands of people on social media.
Yes.
I only follow those people who are specifically like in my life on a regular basis, with a couple exceptions. And I have a social media friend. I'm not going to give any hints at all to who this person is, but they're in my life from growing up. And I'm like smiling and laughing because just the last couple of days, there's been drama where they live, and they post about it, and they post like in a very unhinged way, which is kind of comical to me.
Oh, I don't like that.
So apparently whatever apartment or whatever place they live, this couple just moved in, and within hours. So they moved in the afternoon, and like all that night they were like yelling and screaming and shouting, and like this person that I know called the police. And then very next day was like another girl was there, and more shouting and fighting, and apparently it's like a drug situation, and it's a lot of drama. And then the way this person posts about it is actually very comical, but
Okay.
yeah. So it's like this person is not in my life anymore, but they make the follow list just because the crazy stuff that they post from time to time, the drama.
Well, you go ahead and enjoy that. It's not for me.
But with social media, this is the thing, and we're going to get to this. With social media, like most of the positive stuff doesn't get the likes and the clicks and the all that. It's the like unhinged rage and all that kind of stuff. And so some people literally, just to get the clicks and the likes and the follows, they'll post this kind of stuff all the time.
See, and this is a shock to me. I didn't know this. I truly didn't, because I don't click and like and share any of that stuff. So I think that my feed is very like, you know, it's very chill and happiness and all of the positive things. Like when other people post their positive things, I'm always clicking, like I'm liking those things.
Yeah.
So it shocks me that that's what's happening.
I mean, it shouldn't shock you because, like, look at the news. When I was growing up, it was a combination. Well, now they used to just talk about what was actually happening, but it was a combination of like feel good, positive things that were happening, and then there would be posts about, killings and robbings and all that kind of stuff that was happening in our area. And then you would hear some of the stuff going on in the world. But now the news is literally just doom and gloom all the time.
I remember a segment of the news when I was a child. I don't remember what they called it, but it was like a feel-good segment every single, like 5 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what they called it right now, which is annoying me because it's on the tip of my tongue. But it was always like somebody did something good in the community, or there was a cat fashion show, or it was like some weird random stuff. But
it's the segments that the movies that have the news in them make fun of now.
Yes,
and they do it over the top.
Where everybody's like, "Oh, I have to do this segment," and they're like, "If you want to earn your way to the top, you got to go do." Yeah, right.
Yeah, How I Met Your Mother. Robin had to do a lot of those pieces, and of course they were mocking that kind of stuff. Yeah. But you watch like the quote unquote news channels, and I don't care if it's right or left, it's people just angrily yelling about stuff. You have TV shows like The View, and it's literally just angrily yelling about stuff. So it shouldn't surprise you. You don't watch any of those shows.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't watch them either, but I see them. I'm aware of them. I know they exist. So social media is kind of the same thing, and that's kind of what we're talking about here with Sadfishing as well. It's like it's the get the attention.
Right. So really the question for us today is, how do we as parents help our teenagers, because hopefully your children are not on social media.
They shouldn't be.
We do not believe that children should be on social media. Most platforms are 13 years old or up, which we know parents who will lie about their children's age in order to get them on sooner.
Yeah.
Personally, our opinion is that 13 is too young. For our children, it's 16. And then that gives us 2 years where we can help them and coach them before they turn 18 and are official adults, to really help them like know how to manage and handle social media.
Well, and for like, I don't know, the last couple of years, our daughter Violet, who is our youngest, she has been asking all the time about getting on this app and that app and whatever. And
It's hard to be the youngest.
And I'm like, no, like you have to, your 3 sisters waited till they were 16. Like you can wait until you're 16, which some countries, it's like they're really cracking down on the age.
Yes.
And because there are so many like studies out there of, how detrimental it is to the mental health of kids, especially girls. It's a more difficult time with girls online and what social media is doing to them. And so, that's why we were just like, no, you need to stay off there until you're at least 16.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we want to talk about how we as parents, though, can help our kids develop healthy ways to process emotions instead of seeking validation from social media.
Yeah. So sadfishing is the act of posting exaggerated, vague, or emotionally charged messages online to attract sympathy, attention, reassurance, or validation from others. So it combines the words sad and fishing.
Right.
Meaning someone is fishing for emotional responses. Of course, most of us are well aware of catfishing.
Yes.
And not the like actually fishing for catfish.
Right.
But catfishing has become a thing where somebody online pretends to be somebody else and kind of like fools somebody. Mm-hmm. And this could be for like a prank or, something more severe.
Let me say something about catfishing right now.
Have you been catfished?
Yes, 23 years ago.
No, that's not. It's not catfished.
Violet, I don't even really call this social media, but in a way it could be. So Violet is on the Bible app.
Okay,
she has been allowed to be on that. So there was a gentleman who friend requested her through the Bible app.
Yeah.
And said something about how beautiful she was and something else about like, I'd really like to get to know you. And then she showed me his profile picture and it's like this very attractive young, like 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
That would be like very attractive to a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Like, or she's 15, sorry. But anyway, I told her, I was like, that's not the boy that's reaching out to you. Because like we have rules and boundaries set up with the Bible app that she can only accept friends that we are friends with and that we know and that she knows personally.
Which is our rule for social media for the kids.
Anyway, right. Yeah. But as far as the Bible app, and I didn't even think that the Bible app would be a place that would be a little bit dangerous, but it absolutely could be.
Yes.
So we had this whole discussion about catfishing just the other day.
Okay.
And she knew right away. She was like, I knew right away this wasn't real.
Yeah.
But that's because of the discussions that we had with her beforehand. But I was like, this could be any creepy old man anywhere.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This is not probably a 15-year-old boy.
No.
And even if it is, he's not handsome like that. And So anyway.
But there was like this huge story about catfishing that came out I have it pulled up on my phone here in 2012, so I can remember the details. But I remember when this happened. And then this idea of catfishing kind of blew up, and there's TV shows about it and all this kind of stuff, reality shows. But there was a player for Notre Dame football team, and Monte Te'o is his name. And I'm trying to remember if he won the Heisman or exactly what happened, but in his speech, he dedicated his season to the memory of his grandmother and his girlfriend. And so people were like, well, what's the situation with the girlfriend and stuff? And apparently his girlfriend named, and I don't even know if I'm saying this right, Lene Kakua, supposedly died of leukemia. And then it was found out like she was never real. So somebody catfished him. Now, some people thought that he was in on it, and it was part of a publicity stunt. Later on, that was found not to be true. But apparently, like, let's see, what was the name of the person who catfished him? Some dude from California named Ronaya. Oh, geez, I don't even know how to say this name. Tuiasosopo. Tuiasosopo.
Wow. That sounds fake.
Yeah, I know.
That's the guy's real name.
But used stolen photos to catfish him. So it was like this.
One thing that's crazy to me about that is that a person would call someone that they never met their girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Like I get like developing friendships online, eventually meeting, and then
but talked on the phone with somebody. Like it was like this big thing. Like yeah. So
it's so sad. But what happens out there is really sad.
Yeah. So we're well aware of catfishing, and I'd heard that before. But sadfishing was like a terminology I'd never heard before. But obviously, it is what it sounds like.
Yes.
But people are using it to kind of gain attention and from somebody else.
However, not every social media post is sadfishing.
No.
It could be, but not every. So there are times when people share genuine struggles to seek, support or prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to asking for prayer for things on social media.
Yeah.
And it might be to connect with others, and those things are like fine.
Yeah. But I'd say it's more refreshing to me, somebody who is posting like well balanced.
Yeah.
Because most of social media is just the highlights. It's the best of us. It's the filters. You know, we put on the, dress up, hair just, I mean, for those of you that have hair.
Yeah.
Hair just right, women doing their makeup. We see the people out and about who are taking 35 selfies to get just the right one to post on social media.
Filters.
Your sister loves filters.
How would you call her out like that?
It's just,
dude.
She posts the pictures. I mean, so it's not like.
Oh, come on now.
But some people love the filters. I appreciate the people who, and if that's how you want to do it, great. But they don't just post the good stuff. Some people post the heart difficulties, the hurts, the heartaches, when you're, and that's not necessarily what we would call sad fishing. That's literally just posting life,
being real.
Yes, which I think is refreshing in the day and age that we live in. But some people literally, they're just posting the bad, the drama, the negative all the time for the purpose of gaining the comments, the likes, the sympathy, the whatever.
And sad fishing generally refers to using emotional posts primarily to gain that attention or the engagement, right? So a lot of times that emotion is exaggerated, or it's intentionally vague to make people click or to make them ask comments and questions and be like, what happened? Now, I have seen that in my following, that people that I'm following, where they'll post something vague and you just want to be like, oh, what happened? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm tempted, but I don't ever ask because I respect people's privacy. So I always think like if they wanted to share, they would. But then now after this kind of stuff, I'm like, are they doing that on purpose because they want me to ask, because that gets them more engagement? So it's kind of interesting, but it can also be used for validation. So we're really thinking about not necessarily us being, using the sad fishing, but we're thinking about our kids.
Yeah.
So what would be examples of sad fishing?
So very like cryptic messages, kind of like you mentioned just a little bit ago, like I can't do this anymore.
I have seen those kind of posts.
And so there's like no context given, and so then you get all the worried comments from people.
Right.
Frequently sharing dramatic updates that invite concern, but rejects offers to help.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I don't really want to do anything to change the situation. Why? Because the situation is not really what they're making it out to be.
Okay.
Exaggerating personal hardships to gain sympathy or just to increase their social media management. engagement, excuse me. But I was thinking of like, and I've seen posts like this where somebody posts something about like wanting to end their life or this or that, which mental health is a very serious topic.
Yes.
And we're talking about possibly taking your own life. It's like a very serious thing that you just never should use that to like gain social media engagement.
And it's so sad because that is not fair to those who are actually struggling with that.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
But one of the questions that we want to answer for you today is, why is it becoming so common, this idea of sad fishing? And here's some of the reasons. We've mentioned a little bit, but let's dig in a little deeper. Social media does reward emotional content. These platforms are literally designed to maximize engagement. So if you can post something that evokes strong emotion, whether it be joy or outrage or sadness, it often increases those likes and the comments and the interaction, and it's more effective than sharing neutral content.
Yes.
So social media platforms are actually rewarding this.
Yeah. Which, and the positive stuff doesn't get a lot of engagement hardly. And I've noticed this even with my own posts, where it's like, if I post about certain things, like and a lot of times it's nonsense stuff where it's just like you get a lot of engagement and comments and whatever else, and then you post something like serious or something spiritual and it's like literal crickets. So like people learn, and if you're just doing this to get likes and your life is just about, who's following you and the engagement and all that kind of stuff, like you're going to post the things that get the most engagement, and this stuff does.
Yeah, it does. It does. So if you have that immediate attention right after sharing emotional posts, then it reinforces the behavior. And the more emotional posts, the more interaction becomes, and the more reward you feel like you get.
So another reason why it's become so common is people just crave validation.
Yeah. Especially our teenagers.
Yeah. And I talked about this a little bit on Sunday in the series that I'm doing called Summer Playlist. And we're taking current popular songs off the Billboard 100 and we're evaluating it through the lens of Scripture. And of course, a lot of songs that are popular have to do with relationships and stuff like that. And we talked about this very thing where every person wants to be seen. They want to feel seen.
Yeah.
They want to be valued. They want to be understood, right? And so for some, social media becomes the quickest place to receive these kind of things, to get encouragement, reassurance, compliments, or sympathy. And you have this like unreal sense of belonging because social media is not real. It's so much of it is just fake. It's perceived connection.
Right.
And it's funny that it's called social media because it gives this view, this like feeling of being connected to people when you're not really connected.
Yeah.
It's like we are more connected than ever before, and yet we as a society are more lonely and depressed than ever before.
Right. And that loneliness is another reason that it's so common because everybody is lonely. We have fewer closer friendships. We have less face-to-face interaction, less community involvement, and more isolation. And I just talked to a mother yesterday, and she was talking about how her son has no friends. And then she goes, oh, well, I mean, he has all of his online friends. He plays all these games, and so he's got a lot of online connections.
Yeah.
Like she was trying to make herself, I think, feel better about the fact that he didn't have any in-person friendships because he's got these other friendships, but they're not real. They're not giving us as human beings what we really need out of community. So loneliness is one of the reasons that this is happening. But when genuine support systems are weak, social media becomes that substitute for real relationships. And yet it's not a good substitute, therefore the loneliness.
Well, and this is the thing. It's funny how easily we forget.
Oh, yeah.
So we see it throughout Scripture, especially, in the Old Testament. If you're reading through the Old Testament, which those of you who are new to the podcast, Lysandra and I lead Beachside Community Church. We are followers of Jesus. And so you read through the Old Testament and you find the children of Israel easily forgetting the things that God did for them, the miracles, the way he provided, the great things he did for them, and they start to complain, and then God does something great for them, and then they quickly forget and they start complaining again. And it's just this cycle. And we often throw stones at them, but
yeah, we do.
we easily forget as well. I mean, here we are in 2026. We're, 5 years or less, depending on how you look at the pandemic that started in 2020, away from that. And it was such a time of isolation, of loneliness,
Yes.
even for us introverts. I remember just I need to see somebody else. I need to talk to somebody else. I remember when we got together with friends for the first time, even in the midst of the pandemic and what was going on, and just how good that felt to see other people in person and talk with them and connect with them. And so we all understood there's not real community in online.
No.
It's not the same. And we have so easily forgotten that and fallen into these old patterns of believing that social media is connection, and it's really not genuine connection.
Well, and our teenagers who are on social media were children during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So they need us to teach them this. They didn't get to really experience it for themselves, but they need to. We've got to teach our children that social media is not the same, or online friends are not the same as in-person friends. It will never be the same.
Yeah. So, as Lysandra mentioned, talk about another reason it's kind of on the rise is because of that loneliness that is increasing. Another thing that has happened is these mental health conversations have become more public. And so it's a lot more common to talk about the issues that people are facing, which there's a lot of good about that, right?
Yes.
Awareness has been made. And so it's been great that people, the stigma around mental health and those conversations has kind of gone away for the most part. So a lot more people have gotten help, which is good. And so over this last decade or so, you've had conversations about anxiety, depression, trauma, and emotional well-being that have become more open. And but one of the things it's done is, because of the increased openness, it has in some places blurred the line between healthy vulnerability and oversharing for attention.
Yeah, that is a fine line sometimes. Yeah. And it is funny because you talk about a balanced social media where okay, yeah, here's the highlights, here's the great vacation, whatever. And then here's the real life stuff. I'm struggling with this, and having the balance, because if somebody is only posting all the stuff that they struggle with, it's just oh geez, this person again, you know what I mean? And then yet if you have people who are only posting things that are amazing, you start to think okay, well, your life is fake, that's not real. And so it's kind of the same thing, what is vulnerability and what is oversharing, and where is that line? And our kids are too emotionally immature to make that decision, to help to understand that. Some adults are too immature to do that. But we have got to be present in our kids' lives with social media.
Well, and another part of it is you have people claiming to have certain things when they don't have certain things. So it's one of those things that really bothers me, where you have, in a different realm, you have people throwing around the word abuse.
Yes.
When they're not actually suffering abuse. Just because somebody is mean to you, whether it's a spouse or somebody else, doesn't mean that is abuse. And some people is well, my husband was rude to me, that's abuse.
Or when they're both screaming horrible things back and forth at each other.
Yeah.
And then you want to be that person abused me. It's well, in that case, then you both abused each other.
It's like you were fighting.
Yeah, it was a terrible fight and you shouldn't have done it. But I don't think you can say that your husband abused you.
Right. And so you have people who are really going through abuse. And,
Yes.
And you know, you downplay what they're actually going through. And the same is true in the realm of these mental health issues like depression, like anxiety. It's like just because you're worried about something doesn't mean you suffer from anxiety, or just because you have a bad day and you're sad doesn't mean you're struggling with depression. Like, you know, those are different things. And so one of the things that's happened is because the conversation has become a lot more open, you know, you have people who are just throwing words around to gain sympathy from people when it's like you're not actually struggling with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Identity is increasingly tied to online attention, and that makes sad fishing more common. So for a lot of people, especially adolescents and young adults, the number of likes or comments, follows or shares can be really attached to the way that they feel, and it can make them feel worthy or unworthy. It can make it actually makes them feel their value, and that's what they attach their value to, which is not healthy at all, because it is so it changes on a whim. Like it's not stable at all. So when attention feels like acceptance, then emotional posts may become one way to maintain visibility and connection. So that's what they're searching for. That's what they're going for.
Well, and you've also found this shift that is happening, because it used to be like we were only very vulnerable with the people that we knew and were very close to.
If that.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of circles, it was like you didn't tell anybody any negative thing about you or that you were struggling with. I have a sneeze coming. Excuse
God
me.
bless you. God bless you. Is that it? Are we done?
That might be it. Actually, one will probably come later.
I wonder if people are listening to this in their earbuds and that just blew their eardrums.
Yeah, literally.
I want to apologize to you.
But this is what we do on the podcast. We say this all the time. Whatever happens, happens. Your contact episode.
Oh my goodness. That was torture. It was like if for 45 minutes somebody had something like a small tool and they were just scratching your eye.
Yeah.
The eyeball for 40 minutes. And then you're also trying to like make coherent sentences.
Yeah.
At the same time and look happy. And
Yeah.
that was that episode.
I was like looking at you and my eyes were tearing up because it looked so painful. But it's like one of the things I love about this is it's just real. Whatever happens, happens. We don't take advantage of the tools that can edit out like and early on I tried to do that and I was just like, this is dumb. Like, or cutting out certain things that happen, like sneeze happens, it happens. That's there. So, but going back to the conversation about vulnerability, it was like, you only shared certain things with people who were so close to you. And now with social media, you have people who are doing the exact opposite of that, where instead of like developing and building actual relationships and friendships and sharing that with people who they're close to them, they're just sharing it out and using kind of social media as the means to share some of that stuff, you know, including strangers who they'll never see in person.
Yes. So we can help our teens, we can help our kids develop healthier emotional habits, but we have to teach them that emotions are meant to be shared with trusted people, not necessarily everyone online.
Right.
And kind of trying to teach them about the difference, about the balance of social media, about being real, but not sharing too much. And it's a delicate balance, and I can't at all say that you and I have it figured out perfectly or like we do it perfectly. But we do need to go to the Lord and ask him for wisdom and guidance even on this, because it is how we are presenting ourselves to the world. And I think too, like there is a spiritual side to this where if we as followers of Jesus are just constantly trying to get people to feel sorry for us and like my life is so horrible, then there is that question of like, well, I definitely don't want to follow Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course we do know that like a follower of Jesus is promised suffering and pain here on this earth. Like we're not, just because we follow Jesus doesn't mean like everything gets happy.
Of course.
But there is an inner peace and joy in the midst of difficult things. And we can use our social media as a means to encourage other people and to spread the truth of the gospel. But thinking about how you use your social media, you've got to think about that balance all the time. And you also need to bring God into it. So don't like eliminate God from your social media where it's like, okay, this is about me and how I look. Like, no, this is about how you represent Christ.
Yeah.
Too. So all of that we have to teach our kids.
Well, and there is a difference between seeking comfort from a crowd rather than people who really know you and can actually help you.
Yes.
And be there for you. Because, people scattered across the country or across the world, there's not a lot they can do to actually help you in a moment of difficulty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might feel good to have people sending you well wishes of encouragement or, identifying with you in the midst of whatever the difficulty is or whatever, but it's little help as far as practically in helping you get through whatever the situation is. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about how parents can help their children through this process. And one of the things is by building strong family communication where your children feel heard before they turn to social media. It's like, right. I don't need to turn to social media to have somebody hear me because my parents, my family, they will listen to me.
Yeah, their needs are already being met at home. They're not searching for it online.
Yes, and we've talked a number of times before on the podcast about how to make it a safe place where your children feel comfortable having these kind of hard conversations with you.
Yeah, and I would say that if your child is sadfishing on social media, which I really hope that you are following all of your children on social media, you should be. But if you're seeing this happen, that may be your indicator, like your check engine light is going off. And that's where it's like, okay, something's not right. My child is going online to do this rather than at home. Let's figure out why and let's investigate a little bit and try to change that so that they do feel comfortable at home. But as you try to help your children have these healthy emotional habits, another thing you can do is help your child to distinguish between healthy vulnerability and attention seeking, even in the home. Because you think about that when your kids are toddlers. They fall and get hurt and they scrape their knee.
Yeah.
Some parents, like there's so many different kinds of parents. Some parents are like, you're okay, hop up, you're good, keep going, go play.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yep. And then you've got other parents who are like, oh my gosh, my baby. Oh, And typically the parents who are more sympathetic and baby them, their kids are going to like scream and cry more about that pain. And the parents who are like, you're fine, go on. Those are the kids who are like so tough and like nothing hurts them.
Well, we tried not to make a big deal about when our kids fell down or something, especially toddlers and stuff, where it was like, we know they're not actually hurt, right? Yes. Like severely. Let's not make a big deal out of it. Let's see what happens, what they do and how they react. And then, go from there.
Right.
Rather than making a huge deal out of it.
Yeah. So translating that to emotional pain, right? Emotional pain, you don't want to just be like, oh, stop, you shouldn't feel sad about that, knock it off. Like, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
That's not going to help them. But yet, if you go and swing the pendulum too far the other direction, it might be where you're just like, oh my gosh, that friend said that mean thing about you. You must be devastated. You must think your world is ending. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, yes, I do, actually, or whatever. So helping them understand what's the difference between vulnerability and attention seeking.
Yeah.
That's not easy. But that's something that we need to help them with.
Well, and it is one of the struggles that we all face, this battle that we have with our own pride.
Right.
Where we don't want to feed into their pride and into their ego and into this, attention seeking. But at the same time, you don't want to downplay, as you mentioned, the difficulties that they're actually feeling and what they're going through. Yep. Another way that you can help out as a parent is to encourage real life friendships and supportive communities. And so make sure that you do have a good church that you're going to, where your kids can find friendships with people who have the same values, who are going the same direction as you, and in person.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those things where I was a youth pastor for a long time, decades before I began getting into like being the lead pastor of the church. And it was always like bizarre to me when parents were like, so-and-so's not here today because at youth group because they, disobeyed, broke some rules. And so
Didn't do their
they're
homework.
grounded from,
grounded from youth group.
Yeah. I'm like, this should be unless the problem is with kids who are here, like this should be the last place you ground them from. They need this support from positive place.
Absolutely. So I have been working on this one with our youngest daughter, Violet, and she is one of those kids who is liked by everyone.
Yes.
She does not have trouble making friends, and anyone and everyone wants to be Violet's friend.
It's pretty positive personality. Yeah,
absolutely. But she does have this thing where she sometimes feels anxiety with friendships, because I think that we've really worked hard to figure out what's at the bottom of this, but we think that what it is she wants to make sure that everyone's having a good time. And so she puts so much pressure on herself.
Who does that sound like?
It sounds like me. I know. But she's putting pressure on herself to make sure that, like, oh, do they feel left out? Are they happy? Are they okay? So then it ruins her experience with friendships because it's all pressure. And of course, she's putting this on herself. So we've had multiple conversations about this. But what I have been doing, because this has been a concern of mine, is I'm like, even if it's hard and even if it stresses you out, you're going to have time with friends, period. That's just the way it is. You're going to have time with friends. So at least weekly, she is having interactions with friendships. And I mean, she goes to volleyball 3 times a week. So she's got friends there, and
church and youth group.
Yeah. So she's got a lot of things. But I'm talking about like friends coming to our house, or she goes to friends' house.
Yeah.
Like, we are having real friendships, real interactions, because we're not going to do this thing where the only people you hang out with are online, or where you end up getting into a pattern of isolation starting in your teen years and it just flows throughout your life. Like, we're nipping this in the bud and we're going to like focus on this. So I would definitely encourage you to really think about those real life friendships that your children have and making them a priority.
Yeah.
And then this one, I think, is probably one of the most important things, and that is that we as parents model healthy ways to express difficult emotions.
Yeah.
If you struggle with this, I would recommend Untangling Your Emotions by Jenny Allen. It's a great book that helps you to understand how to identify your emotions, to verbalize them, what to do with them, that it's okay to sit in them and feel them, but you can't stay there, like all those healthy things. And you may not be healthy emotionally, which for that, I would recommend our podcast. We had a 2-part podcast on the difference between emotional maturity and emotional integrity.
Yes.
And that was really, and I think those were eye-opening episodes. I think those ones were really helpful.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the idea behind that was based on the book that you had just mentioned and read, right?
Yes, I do think that it came from that book, that 2-part episode.
Which I've not read yet. It's on my list, my long list. Eventually I'll get to it. But.
I know. Yeah. But those key things can really help you, because if you're not modeling the proper way to express difficult emotions, then your kids have nothing to base it on.
Right.
They're going to base it on TV, what they see on social media, what their friends are doing, and that's so dangerous.
Right. Well, and this is one of the things we talk about in the premarital coaching that we do. And we're going through this right now with this young couple, our daughter and our future son-in-law.
Like, are you going to say who?
But,
and we just finished it, going through it with
John and
Hannah, who had this beautiful wedding, and they have a beautiful relationship, and they're gonna have a great life. But
one of the things we chat about is whatever we witnessed growing up is what we tend to view as the way that things should be. So whether that's what a husband and wife should be, a mom and dad, or when we're talking about expressing difficult emotions. So we witness maybe parents who just, whenever things get difficult, they express it in anger, right? And have these angry outbursts, whether it's the words they say or smashing stuff or whatever it is that they do. We view that as that's the way you handle it, which we know is not a healthy way to handle that emotion. And so we need to learn, as Lysander mentioned, to model, to show our kids and model for them, this is what it looks like to handle difficult emotions in a healthy way.
Right.
And how to have these conversations that you need to have and work through the emotions.
And if our kids are having their emotional needs met at home or with other personal relationships, then they're going to be a whole lot less likely to do the whole sad fishing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So one of the things about the Bible is it encourages believers to carry one another's burdens in genuine relationships.
Yeah.
While also exercising wisdom in how they speak about their lives. You know, I think about Galatians 6:2, which is such a wonderful verse in the command to us to bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. And so literally tells us there that, hey, we're to be there for each other through the difficult things of life. And it's one of the things that I love most about the faith family that we have here at Beachside is, and it seems like we have quite a few people right now going through some difficult times with health situations and deaths in families and things like that. And that we're here for each other, whether that's bringing a meal or making a visit, a text, a phone call, whatever.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly what we're supposed to do. And we need to teach our kids that, hey, we find strength and support in healthy community with people.
Yes. And there are principles in the Word of God that really show us that it is good to share our struggles, to share our pain with one another. For instance, that verse that you just mentioned in Galatians, how can you bear someone's burden if they don't tell you that they have a burden or you can't see their burden, right?
Yeah.
And on social media, you can't bear other people's burdens very well because you don't really know what's happening in people's lives for real.
Yeah.
But we are to share the burden. So like with people who we can trust, we need to be sharing and telling the truth about our struggles.
Yeah.
And this is something we need to teach to our children too, showing them how to do it. So we have to model it and we have to teach it. And in James 5:16, it says this, therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. And so this has this idea of sharing openly and honestly, being vulnerable, being real with people who you know. Right.
Yeah.
Now, confess your sins to one another, pray for one another. Could that be on social media? I mean, I guess it could be.
Yeah.
Is it going to be as effective? Absolutely not.
Right.
It should be with people that you know and trust. And so helping teach your children that and showing them what that means to be honest about what you struggle with, whether it is a sin struggle, a pain, emotional issue, a mental health issue, whatever it is. But being honest and sharing within that caring relationship and trustworthy relationships, not seeking approval from broad audiences.
Right.
But from people who you can trust.
Well, and we do see this model in Acts chapter number 2. So in Acts chapter 2, this is the portion of scripture that we try to model everything that we do at Beachside off of. We find in the early church. But one of the things that's happening is you have people of their own volition selling their possessions, their belongings, and then giving that money to meet needs of people who are in need. And so, you can't have that happen without a close community who are being vulnerable with each other. Like people who are genuinely and honestly sharing the needs and the difficulties that they're going through. And then you find people who are moved with compassion to do something to help to try to meet that need and support that person in a time of difficulty. And so that's exactly what we need to be modeling for our kids as well, is that vulnerability and that confession that you just talked about. And I think one of the best things that you can do for your kids is to create a safe place at home where they can share their struggles with you. And emotional safety doesn't happen by accident, just as like we talked about with the people who are in need in Acts chapter number 2. Like it happened in a community where they felt safe to be able to share their struggles. And it doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen in one moment, right? It's built through thousands of small interactions over many years. And so one of the things that we need to learn to do, and it's one of the reasons why the podcast is called Family Meeting, and why we regularly talk about family meetings and give you every single week a topic to have a family meeting about, is because we need these interactions on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And so it starts by making connection more important than perfection. Children are more likely to come to parents who prioritize relationships over flawless behavior.
Right. And so part of this is separating your children's identity from behavior.
Yeah.
And we just talked about this not that long ago on this podcast. We had a full episode on this, so we won't belabor that. But, just reminding them that nothing you could tell me could make me stop loving you. I love you as much today as I always will.
Mm-hmm. And so another thing that you can do is to be calm before you correct. Mm-hmm. So once again, you need to model the right way to handle things. And so don't fly off the handle. A child's willingness to share tomorrow is shaped by how you respond today.
So true.
So if they come to you and tell you something that's deep, that's personal, that they're struggling with, and you don't handle it well and you don't react well, there's no way they're going to come tell you the next time.
That's right.
It's like, I've learned my lesson. I can't talk to dad about this. Mm-hmm. I've learned my lesson. There's no way I can tell mom this because of the way that we handle that. So if every confession your child has is met with anger, panic, or lectures.
I know, always me with the lectures.
They learn that honesty feels dangerous, even if that's not what we're trying to communicate with them.
Right.
So I think it's also important to highlight, because you have some people who will say, but if we don't react, then doesn't that just condone whatever the situation is? But the thing is, staying calm doesn't mean ignoring wrongdoing.
Right.
If they do wrong, there's still things that you have to deal with, right? It means responding in a way that keeps communication open. And that's what we want to do, is we want to keep the lines of communication open with them. James 1:19 reminds us, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. And you think about that. It's listening and responding in the right way to what you have heard.
Mm-hmm. And on that same note, listening before you lecture. And everybody knows that I'm a lecturer. I love to lecture. And I still do, but I try to pay attention to how often and how long.
Wait until she goes into a lecture about lecturing.
Oh, I've done that. But there are children who are going to stop talking to their parents because they don't want another lecture.
Yeah.
So of course, yes, giving advice is fine, but that doesn't have to be the first thing you do. Ask some thoughtful questions. Reflect back what you hear. Validate their emotions without necessarily approving their choices. This is possible. You can do this. And you can say things like, tell me more. Help me understand. What was that like for you? These are questions that they're communicating curiosity, not judgment. And then, of course, like Thomas said, you can still correct the wrongdoing. That will come.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be right away. We're going to hear our children. We're going to let them share the things they need to share with us.
Well, and that can be so difficult to do.
Oh, it is.
It's difficult with your own kids. I think about a young man that I am spiritual mentoring right now. And he's being very open about what's going on in his life and how he feels about certain things. And he'll say things, and I'm just like, okay, don't react. Mm-hmm. Like this is obviously not the way you should talk about this person, that person, or the other, or, that's not a good feeling or a good attitude to have about this, that. But I'm like, just don't react. Just let them talk, let them express themselves, get everything out before you go into anything.
Yeah.
And that's so hard. Mm-hmm. And it's hard with your kids too.
Yeah, because we're so emotionally tied to our kids.
Yeah.
Everything feels so strongly when it comes to our own children.
I think it's harder when it's your own kids. Yeah.
It is harder. Yeah, I agree.
And then create regular opportunities to talk and just having these meaningful conversations. They rarely happen during crisis. unless you've developed that kind of relationship ahead of time. And so whether that's car rides, bedtime, having regular dinners together, walking, shared activities, especially on how maybe your kid's a little bit different. I know with guys, a lot of times they're more apt to talk shoulder to shoulder than face to face, right?
Right.
So while we're doing something, we're playing a sport, we're doing some, activity or whatever. So think about your kids and their temperament too, as far as like when is the best time to develop conversations, meaningful conversations.
Yes. And I will say this, like if you do that starting when they're young, if you have regular conversations with them, meaningful, open, honest conversations with them, when they are older, you will reap that benefit because I'm living the benefit of it right now. My adult daughters, and they're young adults, like, we're talking 18, 19, 20, but they are messaging me when all kinds of stuff happens in their life. Like I'll get messages and be like, I can't wait to see you later because I have to tell you all about this thing. And and then of course I send my Jessica Fletcher meme where she's eating popcorn, like she's getting the tea and she's eating popcorn,
Yeah.
And, cause that's who I am. I'm Jessica Fletcher at heart. There are so many people who have no idea what I'm talking about, but you can Google Jessica Fletcher getting the gossip and you will see the meme.
Everybody over 80 knows exactly who you're talking about.
Every time I say that Murder, She Wrote is my favorite show, the same thing is said every single time. Oh, my grandma watches that.
Yes.
Everybody says that. And that's fine with me. I'm comfortable because I love your grandma. But anyway, so like I had one daughter message me that, and then I had another adult daughter message me just yesterday, and her first thing was, I'm just praising Jesus right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on. So we had this whole text thing about good news that she found out. But like, they are coming to me with these things. They want to talk to me about these things. And I firmly believe that that's why. Yeah. Because ever since they were little, we have sat down, we've had conversations, we've had discussions. I've let them talk. I've reacted as best as I can most of the time.
Yeah.
And totally failed many, many times. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like the amount of times I've had conversations with my kids where I was like, be cool, don't react. I can't even number them.
Yeah.
Like coaching myself in my head to chill out. But because of all that work, now I'm enjoying it. I'm living in this. And so I just want to encourage parents with younger kids, like keep it up. You are going to be so happy that you did this one day. Well,
and it's like Sunday, and I love when this happens also. We're walking into the school to get ready to set up for church, and we're there early, way earlier than everybody else, and we're walking in, and all of a sudden, as we're kind of chatting, our third-born daughter, Abigail, my sugar, her eyes light up, and she's like, oh my gosh, I have a story to tell you guys.
Yes.
And I'm not going to go into what the story was, but she was like so excited
to tell us,
to like share what had happened in her life, some situation that had happened at work. But, it's those kind of conversations and having them regularly that keep that line of communication open and build that trust for the weighty, the serious conversations.
Yeah. And a part of that too, though, is responding to small problems like they matter. And we talked about this a little bit, like not dismissing how they feel and pretending like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think that I had a conversation with you, Thomas, early on in our marriage where I basically told you, I need you to not ever say to me, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You remember when you used to say that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All the time. That's not a big deal.
And I had a hard time with the girls too. Like, same thing. Trying not to do that because to me, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. But I was like, no, it is a big deal to me. And the fact that I think it's a big deal is as valid as you thinking it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So I had to learn like, okay, even though I think that's dumb and that's not an issue, to them, it is their whole world falling apart. And so like, don't treat them like they're stupid because they're having a hard time with this thing. Yeah. It happened recently with something. I'm trying to remember what it was. What it was doesn't matter, and I probably wouldn't share it publicly on the podcast. But I remember thinking like, why are you getting so upset and freaking out over this thing that is it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, and then probably the last one we'll share on this is admit your own mistakes. Like, don't try to act like you're perfect.
You aren't.
Parents who apologize create emotionally safe homes. So when children hear things like, I overreacted, I shouldn't have spoken that way. That's a lot of times what I have to say.
That's your line.
Yeah. Like, I shouldn't have spoken that way. Sometimes I'm a little harsh, a little rough. And I got to go back and apologize. And I've shared many times on this show, like times that I've kind of been a little harsher than I should, whether with Lysandra, the girls, or somebody else. But
you getting tired of having those examples, babe?
It's content. But I'm learning and growing. At least most of the time I recognize
that's right
afterward that it happened.
Yes, which is that's a lot of growth there.
And it's not just growth that I recognize it, but that I actually care about how that other person feels about how I said things.
Because there was a time in your life you didn't care.
Yeah.
If they felt like that, you were just like, well, they're too sensitive.
Yeah. And there's been times where I've apologized and the other person had not thought anything about it.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was being harsh. And so, but they need to hear things like, will you forgive me? Like learning how to apologize and hear those words from you. And so they learn that honesty is welcomed rather than punished, that you make mistakes and you can own it and talk about it, recognize it. Humility builds more trust than perfection ever could.
Right. And you aren't perfect, and neither is anyone else.
Yeah.
But every child needs someone who will truly listen. And we as parents want to make sure that we're the ones listening. We're the ones there for them so that they aren't seeking it from other places, especially, online. And we want to make sure that they know they don't never have to perform their pain online to find the love, acceptance, or support. Like, you're getting that right here from me, from mom, I love you, from dad, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm ready to listen. So if this is something maybe you're seeing in your kids or you just want a little more info on it, we do have a bonus resource to offer you, and it is called Helping Your Child Navigate Social Media and Emotional Health. And so if you just email us at info@familymeeting.org, we will send that to you, and that can help you in this area.
Family meeting tonight, you're going to have a conversation with your kids about how to handle the difficult emotional things that happen. And I think as you have this conversation, it is important to start by pointing them to Christ as the only source of true hope.
Yes.
Like, we can go to him. He is a God who understands, who loves. The scripture points to the fact that he knows exactly what we're feeling like, and we can go to him. He identifies with us. And so when our kids hear us talk about, they see us relying on God's grace, that encourages them to do that themselves. And also talk about how important to have community around you to support you, that, hey, this is one of the things we do. And I love this. Our girls just repeated something that we talk about just the other day, where it's like, you do for family. And so, like, we support each other. We encourage each other. We're there for each other, which means that when I'm going through a hard time, I know I can talk with you about it, and we support each other when you're going through a difficult time. Church, once again, as we talked about before, having that faith family that supports and encourages us. So thinking about how you can work through those emotions together and build that support.
Thank you for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider, and share this episode on your socials.
Yes. For everything else, Family Meeting, go to familymeeting.org.
Okay. Next week's episode, I think, is going to be very, very interesting for all of our viewers.
Okay.
I think they're going to love next week's episode, because we are going to share the negative things that our daughter said about us. And I think this is going to be such a fun episode. So Thomas mentioned that we're doing premarital counseling with our daughter and her fiance, which they're also getting it elsewhere, just for those of you who are like, this seems like a bad idea. But they're going through two separate premarital counselings. And one of the things that we ask everyone in our premarital counseling is to name the positive things that they witnessed in their home about their mother as a wife, father as a husband.
Right.
And then also the negatives that they saw. So our poor daughter is sitting in the hot seat and she has to answer these questions about us, which is so funny. And she was so uncomfortable. And we'll share more of the story next week. But I asked her when the counseling session was over, I was like, can I please share this on the podcast? Because we don't share things about our kids without their permission. And she was like, oh yeah, go right ahead. So we are going to share with you the negative things that she sees in us.
Yeah.
And we get to share that with you. And the thing that I think that they're going to enjoy so much about this is it's really fun to hear about how people who talk about family all the time fail.
Yeah. Well, it was funny to like watch her face when I was going to make her like actually tell us the negative stuff. Like she did not want to say negative stuff. But I was not going to let her off the hook with her saying, oh, I don't see any. Because I'm like,
no.
Well, I know.
Well, that's not healthy.
Well, yeah, it's not healthy, but it's not true. Like, obviously, we're not perfect as a husband or a wife or the example, right? At least not all the time. So there are negative things about each of us and what we do as far as being a husband and a wife. So
yeah, but this is real because this came from our own child. And you know that kids speak the truth about what they see.
Yeah. So that'll be next time. Thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned.